It was a brave action by the Ukrainian military. According to the latest information, up to 1,000 soldiers crossed into the aggressor's territory. The Ukrainians crossed the border and entered deep into Russia. This was officially admitted for the first time by Ukrainian presidential advisor Mikhailo Podolak. There is only one reason for the escalation: shelling, hostilities, forced evacuations and destruction of ordinary life forms, including in Russia itself, including the Kursk and Belgorod regions. It is the very fact of Russia's unconditional aggression, its attempts to take over other people's territories and disregard for international law, which clearly defines the principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity. The Ukrainian assault was preceded by a drone strike. The Ukrainians then advanced on 4 border points, 2 of which they managed to break through. The assault group made its way through the border fields to the north of the Kursk region, where there is a pumping point for Russian gas to Europe. This seems to be part of a new strategy to not only defend itself on its own territory, but also to implement strikes on Russian territory. Perhaps it is also related to the loosening of restrictions that Western countries have imposed on weapons they have supplied to Ukraine. It is known that Ukrainians have taken tanks, armoured vehicles and other military equipment with them deep into Russia.
The decisions about how Ukraine conducts its military operations are decisions that Ukraine makes. Nothing has changed about our policy with respect to strikes across the border.
Videos of the capture of some 40 Russian soldiers by Ukrainians are appearing on Ukrainian and Russian social media. More were expected to surrender. The information was provided by the commander of the brigade that moved on the Russians. In Ukraine, there is full mobilization. We are motivated to drive the Russians out of our country. I don't want my children to live in an era of war. I want, like my compatriots, to live in peace. The Ukrainian attack took the Russian barbarians completely by surprise. Vladimir Putin has convened an urgent meeting, and Russian social media has been filled with photos of the alleged attacks on Ukrainians. However, we will not show you any of these creations of Russian propaganda. The storming by the Ukrainians is an unprecedented action. Since the beginning of Russian brutal aggression, they have not penetrated enemy territory with such force. We are fighting, one can say, without any rest. There can be no routine. A new day is a new fight. This shows that the emerging rumours of Ukrainian surrender and Russian victory are simply lies. On the front lines, the struggle for Ukraine's freedom from the occupier and the security of our part of Europe continues. Marcin Shevchak, TV Republica.